And this is where you need to be honest about the direction your life is moving in. If you keep going the way you're going, where does it actually lead? Not in the fantasy version, not in the version where one day everything magically clicks. In the real version, the version where your current habits keep compounding, where your current sleep keeps compounding, your current diet, discipline, prayer life, spending, friendships, your current relationship with your phone, your current willingness to escape discomfort instead of facing it. Where does that man end up? Because the default life is not something you want to drift into. Look around. It is not hard for people, or it's not hard to find people who are physically unhealthy, financially fragile, spiritually numb, relationally broken, and quietly disappointed with how life has turned out. And most of them did not get there through one dramatic mistake. They got there through tolerated drift, through normal habits, through average standards, through years of saying, I'll sort it out later. And that is the warning. If you keep practicing the wrong side of the great separation, eventually it stops being practice. It becomes your life. But that is not supposed to make you panic. It's supposed to wake you up. And I think that much is very clear, right? It's if you carry on the way you're carrying on now, there's only one place you're going to end up. And I'm speaking as if you're somebody that's kind of in my shoes, right? You found yourself kind of, you had that improvement and then you just dropped and now you're kind of just drifting. You're drifting here. If you carry on the way you spent the last however many years and you extrapolate that over your next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, where are you going to end up? Because there is no neutral thing, right? There's no, okay, I really, really, really want this thing, but I'm not gonna try for it or whatever. If I don't try for it, I'm gonna end up just fine. Because it's not like average was ever fun, right? If you're like me, we never look forward to average. I mean, dude, the interesting thing, I know this stat is obviously you can poke a bunch of holes in it, but the message remains the same. The average American is overweight, divorced, and has less than $1,000 in the bank. And it goes back to my thing about average, right? Average is average because it's the average of everybody. If you don't put in the work into becoming who you want to become, if you're not intentional, you're not going to end up with a life where you're like, that's fine, I don't mind it, right? Because if you're anything like me, that where average leads me, I'm just like, I don't want that life. I don't want the life that's kind of set out for me if I carry on the way I'm carrying on, right? I don't want to be out of shape, working a 9 to 5 that I don't like, kind of coming home. I mean, I don't even have a girlfriend, but say coming home to your wife that also maybe does you don't have like the greatest relationship, struggling with finance, like you have terrible coping mechanism, like you're freaking chucking away hours of your weekends on like your phone. I don't want to be that. That's average. I don't want that because it's not like average is not good. Right now, I don't want to go freaking be Batman. Freaking $1 trillion in the bank, jacked out of my mind, like everything, just like all the superficial stuff, kind of maxed out. Like I'm not really trying to maximize for that. I know the life I want. It's not anything crazy, right? I just want a life where I've got one family. I want to have, like my boys, kind of on a similar life. And I want to be laying my life down for God, right? I want to be living my purpose to its fullest. I want to end life like a footballer that has just played 120 minutes of a Champions League final. They've won and they just drop to the floor because they've given it everything. Like the season's over. It's over and you're so happy with like you've given it everything. And now you can actually take your well-deserved rest. Like that's how I want my life to end up. And it doesn't end up that way if you just follow average. And I think it's similar for you if you're somebody that's spending time watching videos like this, quite honestly. But I think the important thing for us to note, I did mention earlier that it is kind of simple, right? It's the fundamentals, we already know them. But it's also not too late. I think we also have this thing where when we watch social media, or we spend a lot of time on social media, we're seeing, all these 20-year-old millionaires, and we think, man, it's over for me, I'm cooked. That's not the case. I think at our age, I mean, if you're still in your mid-20s, like, come on, dude, you can still change. Very different conversation if we're having it at 40. You can still change at 40. You can still change at 60 if you want. But I think at 20, man, like the world is still very much can be at our feet. Like you can still achieve all the things you really want to achieve. So the question is not whether the gap is real. The question is whether your current life is widening it in the wrong direction. The separation is not final yet, but your direction is becoming more obvious. And that should both concern you and encourage you. It should concern you because you cannot keep pretending your habits are harmless. They are not. They are forming you. But it should encourage you because if the wrong habits can compound, the right habits can compound too. You're not trapped. You're not finished. You're not permanently on the wrong side. But you do have to stop treating time like it owes you another chance. Because one day, the man you're becoming will not be theoretical anymore. He will be visible. And you're building him right now.